Hey, how are you guys? My name is Harrison Barron from Growth Generators. Now in this video, I want to share with you guys something that you are probably making a massive mistake on when it comes to your MSP, IT company, or SaaS company. Now we have a special guest of my dogs, so if you hear them, I apologize, but you're probably missing this. Now, how do I know this? My agency specifically works with those kinds of companies in the technology field, and 10 out of 10 times when I see a company that is not succeeding the way they want to, it's probably because they're missing this, and it is called a loss leader. Now in the SaaS company, more often than not, most people give a free trial. However, there's usually a pay kind of scheme behind it. Now I'm not saying that that's wrong, right? But a 7-day free trial and then asking for the credit card when they sign up, believe it or not, is going to hurt you more often than help you. Now there are a few cases where putting in a credit card and making them do that before they sign up for a free trial is probably a good thing, and there are those rare scenarios. But the overwhelming majority needs to have some level of free trial and a extremely good tutorial. Once again, I see this all the time. Now, if you're in the MSP and IT space and you're like, well, I don't have that functionality or feature, there are plenty of products and services that you can offer at a very, very low price or totally free. You have to get a little creative though. There's tools like rapid fire tools that will go through and check to see where there are vulnerabilities on a company's website. Now, yes, I do understand that this is going to cost you money. However, most companies don't realize that this is what is called a loss leader. It is the first thing you can do to get in the door. So running that scan, as it may cost you some money, overall, bring that potential customer in or helping that salesperson close the deal is going to help you so much more in the long term. Think about it. What's the value of a new customer? Is it $10,000 a year? Is it $20,000? Is it $50,000? $100,000? And if you're in the SaaS space, what is a new customer worth? Is it worth $5 a month, $10 a month, $50 a month, $100, $300 a month? Each company has its own struggles, or better yet, industry has its own struggles. But most of the time, I see the loss leaders done completely incorrectly, right? You can give somebody a checklist, but you gotta remember, if you give somebody a checklist in the MSP and IT space, they have to be competent enough to go through and understand what they're getting. If they're not comfortable with what they're getting, they're gonna be upset. And not only that, but the information that you provided is totally useless. This is where I see a lot of companies go completely wrong. A checklist is a great idea, right? Making sure that everything's securely connected and you lock the doors every night, that's great. But if you're asking for anything technical, more than likely, that person has to have an employee who knows what they're doing to go through those areas, right? Is your domain environment okay? Is your firewall up to date? These are questions that the CEO or the makeshift tech person probably doesn't know. So when you're going through and asking these questions, you have to make sure that that ideal customer understands them. On the flip side of things, on the SaaS space, you have to make sure that whatever you're giving away, the person can actually understand and go through, right? A lot of people don't even know what SEO is. I'm constantly caught explaining myself over and over and over again about what it is, best practices. And when I give somebody a worksheet, they don't understand all of the trigger words or keywords that we talk about in the SEO space. So you have to really understand your customer. But as far as your loss leader goes, think about it. You have to make it so easy, right? Like kind of like driving a test drive in a car. That's a great way to do it, no matter what industry you're in. Maybe it's setting up an email inbox so you can test out what's the difference between Office 365 and Google Workspace. It's probably gonna cost you $15 to set it up and let that person try out Word, Excel, maybe get them to migrate over to you with a different environment. This is so crazy important, where most companies are not thinking about this. They understand that their customer knows the benefits of what they offer, but there's no loss leader, and this is huge. Yes, for major companies, you're probably dealing directly with an IT person, but there's a checklist that you can make for that person that would clearly show that you know what you're talking about, right? Azure environments, AWS, their list goes on and on and on, right? What switches you're using? How are you using a Hyper-V? What softwares are you using? Is it Veeam? Is it Datto? Is it Alien Vault? All of these questions can be asked in a survey that IT person knows exactly what you're talking about and that you are proficient and you know what you're doing. So when you're thinking about your loss leaders, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. You have to think about it as I hate to say a used car salesperson or just a car salesperson in general. Let them take the test drive. The product that you have is probably amazing. Let it sell itself. Give a free trial most of the time without asking for a credit card. Walk them through it, spend some time. Give them materials that are going to help them. I think that HubSpot does a fantastic job, and not only when you sign up walking you through the program, but providing you with tons and tons of resources that make it a simple no-brainer for any company out there. And if you're in the technology space, in the MSP or IT side, there is so much that you can do. It's following up, making sure that they have a crazy good customer experience. Did you know that the first month of hiring a new IT company is the most stressful? Not so much for the IT company, although it is a lot of work. That customer needs to know at the end of the day that they are in good hands. Think about it. You have all their data, all their credit card information, every single aspect of that company is in your hands. So you need to make sure it's handled with care. There should be a call every couple days to whomever hired you, letting them know, hey, what's going on? There's clear communication through the process. Everything's being clearly documented. They're getting updates through hopefully ConnectWise or another system that you're using. Every single thing needs to be clearly laid out, and that first month has to be incredible. I used to do this. I was a project manager for years and building these systems. The first month is critical because if that first month is bad, their entire length of that contract, whether it's 6 months or 1 year, is going to be spent looking for your replacement. So you have to really make sure that that first month is incredible after you get them. And same thing with software. As soon as they put in their information, that first interactions with it have to be incredibly good. Like the best experience ever. If they're spending more than, I don't know, maybe $100 a month, you might even want to have a salesperson or a follow-up person call and say, hey, do you have any questions about the software? Can I help you with anything? What would make your life easier? Right? You work so hard to get these customers. You have to make sure that your follow-through is flawless, but it all starts down with your lead magnet. Making sure that that is so crafted and carefully done that as soon as that person enters into your environment, whether that's giving away a software, running a free scan, checking on their services, maybe even auditing their bill, or giving away that software, that interaction is incredibly good. I mean, like, next level good. The rest of the time, you're gonna build a happier customer. You're gonna have less people calling up and saying, hey, this wasn't done, or they're gonna be less critical of that bill. And ultimately, you're not gonna be worried about getting replaced because every MRR company, monthly recurring revenue company, wants to make sure that they're going to keep their customers. And yes, there's gonna be a bit of a turnover and you're gonna figure that out over time. But ultimately, if you could stretch that customer out an additional 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, how much more revenue does that put in your pocket? And how much less time do you have to spend looking for new customers? So I hope you guys found value in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button. We appreciate you subscribing to the channel. If you have any questions about marketing for your agency or whatever it is, a SaaS or an MSP, feel free to click the link down below, join our newsletter, and we appreciate you guys. Other than that, hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day.